Hello and welcome to Craft with Sarah and day 9 of the Christmas Craft Countdown, where I'm sharing a brand new Christmas themed paper craft project for you to make with your Cricut every day for 20 days. Today's project might be handy if you're the type of household that gets a certain little visitor coming every day in December, a little elf that might be coming to spread some holiday cheer. But if you're not someone who enjoys the intricacies of all of that planning of what that little elf is going to get up to, then you can still use this design to go on a greetings card, in a shadow box, or just display it in your home anyway. You never know what magical creatures might turn up in your house. The project is this adorable elf arrival door. So you can cut it small enough to go on your skirting boards so that it can fit in there and look like it's just magically appeared, or cut it a bit bigger to go on a fireplace, a shelf, mantelpiece, anything like that. It's a really cute design. It works well at being cut small, and it's great for welcoming your new little Christmas friend in December. Let's get started. The files for this project are free for the next 24 hours. Here's how to download them. Register a free ticket for the Christmas Craft Countdown at craftwithsarah.com/Christmas25. After registering, you'll get an email which contains a link to the schedule page for the countdown. Visit the schedule page to find and download today's files. Each download is only available for free for 24 hours after it goes live. If you've missed some, check out the Instant Access bundle at craftwithsarah.com/Christmas25 bundle, which gives immediate and ongoing access to all of the files from the Christmas Craft Countdown, plus loads of extra bonus designs. Or purchase just the design from this video at craftwithsarah.com/products. To find the designs from this countdown, click into the Occasions filter and choose Christmas. The designs will appear here each day once the free versions have expired. The download comes in a zip folder. You need to unzip this before uploading the SVG files into your cutting machine software. For instructions on how to use the cut files, visit craftwithsarah.com/help and choose Cricut, Silhouette, or Scan and Cut. Within there are dedicated help guides on topics such as how to upload SVGs, how to modify them to make custom projects, framing tips, and how to cut cardstock with your type of machine. If you have any questions, email hello@craftwithsarah.com. Now, on with today's project. Here's the elf door loaded into Cricut Design Space. You can close out the window on the left by clicking the arrow halfway down the page. The elf door comes in at a cute little size of 4.5 inches wide and 6 inches tall, but you can resize it if you want. If you're going to be putting it along skirting boards or baseboards, then you may wish to measure those first to get a better idea of the size you want to make your fairy door. But this is a really cute size to make, and it's really nice for kind of giving that vibe that a mysterious little elf is going to be crawling out of the door ready for the 1st of December. To resize, first click on the design and make sure the padlock icon between the width and the height box is closed. If yours is open, click it to close it. Then you can type in either the width or the height, and the other measurement automatically changes to make everything go in proportion so it still all looks lovely. Apart from resizing, this design comes in ready to cut, nice and easy. I'll do mine at the original size, so let's put it back to that teeny tiny little 6 inches tall again. When you're ready to cut, press Make over on the top right of the screen, and that will separate out all the colours for you. You can change the paper size in the drop down here, and you would need to do that for each colour. You can also click and drag to move things about on your cardstock to take up less space. For example, if I move those bits up there, it means I'll have all this bottom section of my piece of card still available to use on another project another day. When you're happy with how all your bits of cardstock are looking, press Continue to connect to your Cricut and follow the on-screen instructions to get everything cut from your cardstock. Here are all of the pieces of my elf arrival door cut out. I've laid most of them one on top of the other, following the assembly guide that's included in your download folder to check that I'm happy with all the colours, but I've left all of the smaller bits off and I'll do those at the end. As with all my layered designs, we want to start at the bottom and then work upwards. So I'm going to move these apart so that we're ending up with the very bottom 2 layers. And that is the lighter green right at the base and the darker green to go on top. We'll be putting this together with a combination of glue and foam squares. The glue I'm using is Barely Art glue, but I also like Kalal. The reason I like these two glues is they don't bend or wrinkle the card like some glues can do. The foam squares I'm using are from Dot and Dab, but again, any will do. These particular ones are quite small, as you can see, which will be handy for this design as it is cut out fairly small, and these ones are 2mm thick. The first two pieces will be glued on, so I'll turn this upside down and get my glue. Line it up exactly on top of the solid green piece and push down. You can move it about if you need to make sure those edges are really neat. I'm not going to push down too hard because I don't want any of my glue to smush out and be visible, so more of a sort of gentle push than a real firm one. Next up is the gold to make the hooks on the door, and this one is also glued. You could use foam squares if you want to make it a little bit thicker, but I think glue sort of works better with the layering in general, particularly if you've cut it even smaller than this to go on your skirting board. I've dripped a little bit of glue there, but it won't matter because that'll get covered up by the next piece. Next up is the white, and this time I use foam squares. So turn it upside down and bring in your foam. Add a good amount of these all around the edge, about every inch on the design, about an inch gap between each one. If your foam squares are a lot bigger than these, you may need to cut them smaller with scissors to get it to fit. But these teeny tiny ones work out just fine. There we are. And now that I've got all of those stuck on, I can peel the tops off to reveal the stickiness underneath. And line this up and then gently drop down. The reason for gently dropping is that if you weren't happy with the positioning, you can pick it up and move it because it hasn't actually stuck yet, it's just kind of placed itself on top. But I am happy with that, so let's push down to stick. Next up is the red piece. This one is glued. Just checking I've got that the right way. Yes, I did. It's almost symmetrical, but not quite, so I didn't want to put my glue on the wrong side by mistake. A quick check before you put the glue on is always worth it if you're unsure, rather than having to recut the piece later. Here we go for those candy cane stripes. Next up is the snow for the top, to be done with foam squares. So line that up. Let's check. I haven't done a great job on that actually. I can still see some of my red through. Needs to be up a little bit more, I think. Might be easier to turn it around. Sort of do it upside down. That's lined up much better. Okay, push down to stick. And then there's also the snow to go along the bottom, also with your foam squares. I just stuck it to my fingers. That wasn't very clever. There. And then the big star on top with some foam squares. I like the little slight shimmer on that pearly gold card. And then next up is the wreath and the door handle. It doesn't matter which way round you do these. I'm going to start with my door handle. And I'll glue on this piece first. And then there's the door handle bit. It's very small to do with foam squares on top. And you'll probably need to cut your foam squares very small. You could leave this one off, or you could just glue it on if you prefer. There's my tiny, tiny bit of foam square. And I'm actually going to try and put 2 bits on there. One in there. And... oh, I haven't peeled the tops off of the foam squares so it wasn't sticky. That's why that didn't work. Try that again. There we are. Alright, wreath time. So first up, make sure you've got your gold piece the right way up by aligning it to what's there on the bit we've already done, and then get the top bit and also line that up. The way I kind of do it is it's got this flat bit here and another flat bit here. It's kind of hard to show. Can you see? Will it focus? Okay, so the flat bit's sort of here and here, and you can get that on these bits here and here. Just so we know we've got that the right way round. And then I'll glue this onto the wreath. By checking it first, it just means you don't run into that problem where you put glue on the wrong side. It's that, and then that will be foam squared onto the main door here. Just because my glue is still drying, I don't want to risk moving those two bits about and putting my foam squares directly on here. Like that. And then there are the 3 little bits of ribbon. Although there should be 4. I'm pretty sure there should be 4. I think I'm missing one because there's 4 gaps here. I am missing one. This is my folder that I used to store the bits in after I cut it out. Here we go. 4. There's glue on that. It doesn't matter which way round these go. Particularly, they're all a very similar size. I've put that one the wrong way round. It's got sort of a flat edge. They've all got a flat edge and a more rounded edge. And the flatter edge should be facing in the middle. The more rounded one on the side. Like that. And there we go, my elf arrival door is now all finished and ready to be displayed in my home, ready for the 1st of December when a cheeky little elf might be visiting your house. Or of course it would look good just up on a shelf or on a mantelpiece or anywhere else you can think of to display it. Or if that's not your thing, frame it in a shadow box perhaps for some Christmassy decor, or you could put it on a greetings card and that would look really nice as well. Because this is a simple design that's nice at cutting small, it would look great in scrapbook pages as embellishments or toppers in there as well. Or you could add a magnet on the back and put it on the refrigerator. There really are so many different options you could do with this door. I hope that you enjoyed this video on how to make this cute little elf arrival door to welcome those fairy tale creatures into your home this festive season. If you did, please give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to my YouTube channel for loads more Cricut crafts and free SVGs. I hope to see you again tomorrow for day 10 of the Christmas craft countdown. We're almost halfway there, but for now, thank you so much for watching. Bye!